You're listening to the Hidden Killers podcast with Tony Brueski,
featuring attorney, guest, and former felony prosecutor Eric Faddis.
Where does it go from here for Alex Murdaugh? Obviously, this was something that they were really leading up to. It seemed that this could have been an interesting turning point in the story, but it seems to be far from over. This isn't necessarily the ending of Alex Murdaugh's quest to go further. What are the next steps that they'll likely take?
Yeah, we're just heating up, Tony. There's a lot more to come in this saga, really. And so what I think is going to happen is defense is going to try and challenge this judge's ruling at the evidentiary hearing if they can. They also can lodge what's called a habeas corpus appeal, which is really where they might be able to bring even additional grounds if they're able to identify them. And so there's a lot more that's going to be said about this case and going to be done by the appellate judiciary. And so that's really the next phase is let's see what the appeals folks think and go from there.
How does that work when they go to the appeals process? Are they going to be taking the exact same evidence we just heard and bringing it to them for another decision? Where does that go in the appeals process?
It varies by jurisdiction, but usually what happens is a higher court, an appellate court, will review the lower court's determination at that hearing. So they'll look at what Judge Toll did at the hearing and determine if it was supported by the evidence that came out or not. They usually don't take a completely fresh look at the entire case and the issues presented. Usually they will sort of analyze whether Judge Toll had the legal authority to do what she did in this hearing. But if she got it blatantly wrong, an appellate court is likely going to determine that.
Does the appellate court have the power to say, you get a retrial, or does this then push it to another court if they make that decision that Judge Toll got it wrong?
Oh, yeah, no, I think it depends on the jurisdiction and specific laws in South Carolina, but usually the appellate court will critique Judge Toll's determination at the hearing. And if they find that Judge Toll erred, sometimes they'll send it back for a new hearing. I'm not sure how constructive that would be here. Sometimes they'll just make a determination saying, hey, look, she got it wrong and it should have been the opposite outcome. We're granting a new trial. And so it's going to depend in part on sort of the jurisdictional laws out there. But I wouldn't be surprised with an appellate court seeing this and really questioning how Judge Toll reviewed things and what her determination was.
Is this something where Judge Toll didn't want to have to be the person to give Alex Murdaugh a new trial at the end of the day, where it's like, I just don't want this on my record. I'm going to retire here soon, and I hate Alex Murdaugh, so I'm just not going to do this. Someone else can be the one that makes that call, and was it just kind of just punting this down the road for somebody else to be that individual?
That would sure be the easy move, wouldn't it? It'd be easy to just say, oh gosh, everyone hates this guy. And even though he presented some meritorious grounds at this hearing, if I rule against him, no one's really going to come at me because everybody hates him. Yeah. And so I worry that could have played some role in the judge's determination here, and she'll sort of let this issue, which is an unpopular and divisive issue, be decided at another level by somebody else.
What kind of timeline are we talking about here for this to be brought up to an appellate court? Is this something where, okay, well, it was denied over here, now we're going to go to this court to try it? Obviously, they'll take a look at what was presented. God knows there could be more things that come up surrounding Becky Hill, considering the other allegations, the wiretapping with the son. Her phone was confiscated in that investigation. We didn't hear anything about that yesterday, so that is still an ongoing investigation. God knows what that could bring to light in all of this. Again, back to the timeline question. How long are we talking here before we get to that scene?
Yeah, the wheels of justice move terribly slowly, pretty much everywhere in the United States. And so it's not going to be a next week thing by any means. It's going to be months down the road. I wouldn't be surprised if this entire Murdaugh saga is drawn out for years and years to come. It's not going to be something that we're going to stop hearing about anytime soon.
So the goal now is simply, it's going to be going to an appellate. Can an appellate court in a case like this, can they deny hearing it, or do they have to get their day in court? Do they have to be heard because they're going to file these motions, or can they say, nope, this is said and done?
Typically the court can absolutely deny it summarily and just say, oh, no, we agree with Judge Stoll. Sorry, bro. Have fun in prison. But because in order to get a hearing, that's one thing that was remarkable in Murdaugh's case, is that they made the threshold to get a hearing. There are so many of these requests for new trials that are denied without any hearing. The fact there was a hearing tells me that there was at least some credible allegations made by Murdaugh. But will a higher level also give a hearing? That is by no means guaranteed.
Interesting. It just keeps going. How many times can they file an appeal on this? Like, let's say it does get denied out of the gate here. Like, look, decision's done. Is this like an endless battle? Do you get so many attempts at this, or what? How does that work?
Murdaugh at some point is going to run out of chance. So right now they're at the state court level. State court judge denied the new trial. So now they'll go to the state South Carolina Court of Appeals or the equivalent. Different states give different names to their appellate courts. And then if the appeals court denies it, they'll go to the last and highest state court in South Carolina. We would call it in Colorado the Supreme Court. Mm-hmm. If that is denied, there is still a federal habeas corpus challenge that Murdaugh can raise. And so I'm thinking there is at least 3 more chances and possibly more depending on what happens during the pendency of these appeals.
Knowing what we know and knowing what came out yesterday, that we do have a juror that said that their decision was influenced by Becky Hill. At some point in time, is Alex Murdaugh going to be getting a new trial, in your opinion?
In my opinion, yes. If the judges have the spinal fortitude to apply the law faithfully and honorably as they should, regardless of the popularity of whatever their ruling is going to be, I think that he is poised and well-positioned to get a new trial based on this juror saying that Becky Hill's comments influenced her guilty verdict.
Want to listen ad-free? Want advanced access to all of our interviews before anyone else?
Become a True Crime Today Premium Plus subscriber on Apple Podcasts.
You get every episode commercial-free,
so you can binge on true crime
until you can binge no more.
Search True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts now, or go to our podcast page and sign up now.
More of the Hidden Killers podcast next.